at that. I can't play the words because there's music and copyright strikes and stuff. So Klay looks like he's having a very good time on the beach, riding it out, and he's pointing at his head. He's doing the tap of his head, man. Why Klay Thompson just taught the most important lesson, not only about women, but about the game. And if you just see what Klay is doing, you will understand why Klay is winning. And this is what we will talk about with closed and open loops. And I'm really glad that y'all are here today. Gentlemen, every man watching this has been there before. Okay, I get it, man. You text her, man, she doesn't even respond. And at first, sometimes you tell yourself it's nothing and she's probably busy. She's probably at work and she'll get back to you, and hours will pass, and 3 hours will pass, and 5 hours will pass, and a whole day you start feeling that, you know what's going on? Why isn't she texting me? Why doesn't she want to talk to me? And you're just waiting for something, and part of you says, well, did I say something wrong? And you'll go back and grab your phone and you'll look at it and you'll wonder. And that is, gentlemen, that's what you call an open loop. So in order to understand what I'm talking about, we have to understand the rules of closed loops versus open loops. And that right there, guys, is what you call a closed loop, where, excuse me, I'm sorry, I apologize. That's what you call an open loop that a guy has, because there is a space between what he's thinking and feeling and what he's assuming is going on with the woman. And this is very important in what we're going to talk about on today's show. Now, so what do most guys do when the loop is open? A loop is open. That means that he, in his mind, is trying to process what's going wrong with the woman, and he's filling in the gaps in what he think is wrong. So what happens, because it is an open loop, he is going to text her again, and he's going to try to make it casual. He's going to try to say something funny. He's going to act like he's not bothered, and even though he sent the second message, is because he's bothered, and that is what we call an open loop. And then when that doesn't work, because the power dynamic goes over to the woman, then they're going to try to call her or check her story, check her IG, check her Facebook. And then they're going to start to wonder, who is she with? What is she doing? Is she online and not answering? So then at that point, what they're doing is they're checking to see at that point what's going on with her. Is she online? And that's the torture of an open loop. Because there's a part of you that says, well, what's going on with her? Please don't let her be online, because if she's online, the question is that is going to torture you that much more, is that if she's online, why isn't she talking to me? And that's the danger of you being in an open loop versus the woman. And this is where a lot of guys lose their power. And it's not about caring about a woman, okay? Because if you're feeling a woman, that's not weakness, okay? That's not at all. The weakness is when your emotions take the wheel and you start moving from a standpoint of fear and worry. Now, why am I saying this? Because I want you guys to look at Klay Thompson, okay? Now, again, if you watch the video I put out on him before, if you see the video thumbnail right there that I have, I put out a video on Klay. I was kind of disappointed in Klay because Meg ran game on him and hooked him. Now, this is very important. If Klay is doing this because he's trying to get Meg back, then he's screwed, because he's in an open loop, which means is that I'm going to do something to put myself out there to kind of show her I'm not bothered by you. Versus if Klay has the game and knows what he's doing and he's really genuine in what he's doing in those videos, then what will happen is he will create an open loop with Meg. I hope y'all can kind of understand where I'm going with this. But if you look at Klay Thompson and everything, okay, and whether you know the full details or not in the relationship, okay, the lesson is bigger than the gossip, okay? Okay, he's not, okay, this is not about online ranting, okay? He didn't, if you notice, he didn't go online ranting. He didn't go online complaining. He didn't go online saying, well, it's not fair. Now, who did that? Meg did. This Meg the Stallion was the one that went online. Meg went online and did that. He didn't make any emotional posts. He did not beg for attention. He did not chase the public narrative, okay? He didn't try to convince anybody of his value. He simply moved different. And the fact that Klay actually moved different, gentlemen, is why I think he is going to create an open loop with Meg the Stallion, okay? So that's what we're gonna be talking about today on today's show to get you to understand, because I always want to teach you guys lessons in the game to show you why game isn't everything. So the lesson that you have to understand is when a woman pulls back, okay, the rule of power, the power that a woman has is that what's going to happen is the guy is going to rush forward when she pulls back. And what Klay did is Klay showed the opposite. He stayed silent, but he was showing the world that he's good. By him, he's out riding his boat. He's pointing at his hat. He's good. He stayed focused on himself. And see, that's the rule of the game as a man. One thought, one mind, one way. I'm always focused on myself. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to be an asshole to a woman, but gentlemen, the only way this works is when you actually burn the bridge and burn the ships. And if a lot of you guys don't know what that means, that just actually means that when I'm done with a woman, I'm done. I burn the bridge. I don't look back. I move forward with my life, and I just charge it to the game. That's it, guys. Y'all, a lot of y'all always say charge it to the game, but charging it to the game is not saying I'm just going to charge it to the game. No, the actions have to line up with the statement in order to actually charge it to the game. But if you notice that he is not out there trying to send her a message at 1:37 in the morning or something like that. And see, what most people don't understand when it comes to the power of this game, when you actually have the game, gentlemen, the power comes from the strength that you have. And it's just silence. Because remember, we're talking about open loops. People don't discuss what we talk about. No one really talks about open loops and closed loops or anything like that. And a thing about an open loop is that an open loop means that the impact that you had on a woman when you have the game is something that she will begin to process, because a lot of women are not used to being with a man that just doesn't care and he can just move on with what he's doing. And that's why I'm saying not to be selfish or anything like that, and not to play games with a woman, and don't try to hurt her on purpose. See, gentlemen, I've always told you as a man, I'm going to hurt a woman, not in a mean way. I'm going to hurt her because the open loop she's going to feel like, you know, I'm fine without him, but I'm missing something. And there's a pain that's going to come with missing you. There's a pain that's going to come with thinking about you that goes way beyond the pain that you know, because it is tied to her feelings and her emotions. And an open loop, gentlemen, if you want to understand the game, is when the mind does not get closure, okay? And when the mind cannot get closure, her mind wants to finish the story, and she can't finish the story. Now, women can finish the story with an average guy because they are smart. See, women create open loops, open loops, but sometimes they don't even know what they're doing. Sometimes they do know what they're doing, but the mind, gentlemen, if y'all want to know how this works, the mind itself is always seeking this one thing that most people don't understand, and that is closure, okay? It wants answers, okay? It wants really what is called a very clean ending, okay? It wants to know that there are no issues or problems. I understand this is what it is, but what happens is that is why when you have the game, the open loop is going to cause cliffhangers. And that is why unfinished conversations, unfinished connections, unfinished words, unfinished feelings are going to stay in her head. And that is why a woman who suddenly stops messing with you and talking to you, one that breaks up with you, or one decides that, you know what, I don't want to be with you anymore. That's why they come back, gentlemen, because it's very, very powerful, because there are no games involved in this, man. This is not the thing that is so crazy about what I'm showing you, that there are no games whatsoever being played. It's not that I'm messing with her feelings and I'm messing with her emotions. You're not doing anything but just living your life and allowing her to feel the presence of not you being around, okay? And when you keep running back behind a woman and you want your ex, and you keep texting her and calling her and chasing her and asking her or reacting to her, guess what? You have just closed the loop for her. And that's why women get turned off and women can move away and not even think about it, because she's got you emotionally and she knows what you're doing and she knows how you're feeling, guys. And if you understand what I'm saying, guys, put 100 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Not the chat, but in the comments if you understand what I'm saying. See, when a woman knows that you're still available, she knows that all she's got to do, and they are the masters of the waiting game. A woman can wait the fuck for days and weeks and months. They have a great, now, and I give them credit, it's a great pussy control that they have to wait it out. That's something women have. That is when the loop is closed. But what she can do, which is her power, can also hurt her on the back end, because when the loop is open and she's waiting, gentlemen, because of an open loop, what is going to happen is that's where the pain is going to happen, in that gap and in that silence. It is the moment that she hears a song, she thinks about you. It is the moment that she sees something on TV and thinks about you. If she has your cologne, your scent is in her pillow. Your scent is misted in the air. It's on her skin. So the problem is, and I get it, guys, y'all understand, this is why the game is so important. A lot of women, when you have the game, they are going to get hooked on you because of the open loop. And that's going to be what we call a pain point on her, because she just can't get you out of her mind. And that's why she's going to try to keep herself busy to try to get you out of her mind. But if she's trying to keep herself busy to get you out of her mind, then you are the reason why she's doing the thing. So she's actually making it even worse, because your influence is so great. She's trying to get you out of her mind, which means she's actually doing it because she's actually thinking about you. Okay? So when you stop feeding that loop, okay? The loophole closes when you're running behind her, kissing her ass, wondering what's wrong, trying to fix it. I'm sorry. Can we work this out? What did I do wrong? Please forgive me. And all the stuff that you do to keep your loop closed, it gives her a power dynamic. But now when you have the game, she has to sit in silence. And now she has to wonder, why aren't you chasing her? Now she has to question whether your attention is there. Do you actually care? Have you moved on? Is there another woman? And if there's another woman, this is where the jealousy comes in. That bitch is not better than me. Why would he talk to her versus talk to me? That doesn't mean she's magically going to come back every time, gentlemen. That's not the point of what I'm trying to teach you guys. The point is that you have to stop training yourself to panic when somebody pulls away. And Klay did the 3 things that most of you guys just don't understand, okay? First, what he did is he didn't rant, complain, or anything, okay? A rant is usually when a man is trying to look strong and, in public, okay, while he's hurting on the inside. He thinks that exposing her and what's going on. You say, well, so when you go online, guys, you start to tell everybody how hurt you are or how wrong she is and how women are this and women are that. You may get temporary attention, but you lose long-term respect. And when you have the game, it's just very rare. And that's why you stand out. If a woman leaves me, you'll never know. And if a woman stays with me, you'll never know. Because you don't just show what you are on the front end. Everything is hidden on the back end. Now, the second thing Klay did is Klay did not beg for her to come back. Begging is when you try to negotiate your attention, you try to negotiate your affection, you try to negotiate parts of who you are because you feel that you are losing that woman. And you always want to do everything you can to try to remind her what you did. You want to try to tell her how much you created. You try to convince her not to leave. But attraction does not respond to begging. Respect does not grow, gentlemen, in a person that is going to keep harassing and hounding a woman, okay? A woman can feel your pity, okay? But a man who begs doesn't understand. Pity is not desire. It's very important. The third thing, guys, that Klay did that was so cool, he didn't chase. Chasing tells her that the distance controls your direction. And if she pulls back from you immediately, run after her. You teach her that your emotional and your feminine stability depends on actually her behavior, and you don't do that. When you have the game, you're locked in, you're actually grounded. You don't do that because a man that has the game notices the shift, and he always takes a step to himself and returns back to who he is. And that's the difference between manipulation and actual the game. That's the difference between a closed loop and an open loop. And I keep trying to tell you guys, this is not about playing games, and this is not about pretending that you don't care. This is not about trying to show her that I can hold out and, I'm going to win at the end. No, man. This is how you live your life, man. I never set out to actually hurt women, but I know I'm going to hurt her because I'm already created an open loop. There's never going to be a man to talk to her the way I talk to her. There's never going to be a man to show her depth and range like I show her. There's never going to be a man that's going to listen to her, make her feel seen, heard, and understood. Those are the things that keep the loop open. And when she thinks that she can run away from you, like the average guy, it's always going to bite her in the ass at the end of the day. And this is the part that most people miss. They think that silence is a tactic. No. Silence is always going to be a test, gentlemen. And that's something that you have to understand. Listen, man, I told you, man, women are smart enough, and shout out to the ladies out there, women are smart enough to hold out in the silence and make you suffer. They're not sitting around worried about you. They know how to move on and not even think about you. It's a power tactic that women have always had, and they know how to use it. So you have to be careful, man. All right, so real quick. So What I do want to say to you is that what can you do today if you're feeling this way? Stop double texting her from anxiety. If you send a clear message, man, let that thing breathe. Don't just sit around here and try to hope and wish that she's going to give you a shot, she's going to give you a chance, and she's going to realize that your love is all this bullshit. It doesn't work that way. Let me tell you guys something about women that you guys don't understand. Women can be cold and calculated, and when she's done, she's done. But the thing that you guys don't understand is that, I've always said, a woman is always leaving you emotionally before she leaves totally her whole entire body. But when you're locked into a woman and you're growing a woman and you're peeling back layers in a woman and you're understanding a woman and she's connecting to you, her emotions come closer to you. So sometimes that is going to scare her, and sometimes that's going to make her want to run away. And in that is where the open loop is going to happen, okay? The right woman may need communication, but she is not going to require you to beg and plead. That's actually a turn off. A woman should know when she's talking to you and interacting with you that she's saying to herself, man, this person is good without me. He really doesn't need me. You know, he has a life and he doesn't need me. But also when a woman knows you can get other women. See, the thing is, real quick, a lot of you guys know that every woman that you like and are interested in, you know there are other guys after her. But when she talks to you, she knows you have nothing in the cupboard, where she doesn't have to worry. She can walk away, hold it out, wait, and smoke your ass out and come back. And if you ever got smoked out like that, guys, put 100 in the comment just to let me know. But this is not about smoking her out or doing anything like that. It's about understanding the position that you're in right now. And the position that many of you guys are in right now is why you're having the problems that you're having with women, because the position that you're in is in a bad position. So you have to learn how to build your life, not on a woman, but you gotta, I love to build the amusement park. I love it when she has my cologne next to her. She doesn't want to spray it, but she might sniff it. I love it when she, when a woman actually connects to you, they're gonna share to you guys and tell you things that they don't share with people. They're gonna share how they feel, how they think. They're gonna tell you about songs, and they're gonna do everything under the sun. But the things that they're going to miss about you are the things that the silence is going to bring out when you have actually what we call that open loop, okay? So the real lesson here, what Klay is doing is, okay, when you have the game and you know what you're doing, okay, the silence is not the thing that's going to make her come back to you. It's going to make her think about you and torture herself enough to either make a decision, live in that pain, or come back to the source that's going to make the pain go away. And when a man actually controls himself, he's going to stop chasing closure from a woman because he knows his value. And what Klay is doing, hopefully, is what we're seeing right here. Now, we will find out, because if he's using it as a tactic, then Meg 3 the Stallion has already got him. But if he's actually living his life, then he can create an open loop, because who was the one complaining? Who was the one that put their business on Front Street? If you think about it, it was Meg. Meg 3 the Stallion put information on Front Street. So if he does it right, Meg is going to miss him and going to feel that pain and roll back to him. So guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments, man, on this game right here. Again, there's always game in everything, and I always want to make sure that you guys get laced up. Gentlemen, please let me know if you understand what I'm saying. I told you guys, you can put 100 And it is okay to put a basketball emoji because this is about a basketball player. It's cool, guys. Put the basketball emoji, put 1,000. Let me know in the comments. And if I get a chance, I promise you, I will, if it pops up on my phone, I will like the comment. And if I get a chance, I will send you a message in the comment. I promise you that. But gentlemen, if you enjoyed what you like what I said right here, this video right there, you are going to love that. Make sure you watch that video right there. It is very, very important to the construct of the game. All right. I'm your boy, the Dean. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace.